Hi guys!
I'm Sophie and this is
Rhys.
And we're just going to have a little talk about using crazy colour for textured hair. We don't do loads and loads of textured hair in the salon, but I think it's really important for us all to educate ourselves on textured hair. A lot of people, especially when I was training, we didn't get the training in textured hair. And I think it's a little bit obnoxious to not kind of put ourselves out there and educate ourselves. I was quite lucky when I did my training that my tutor had textured hair. So she made it it was very important for her to give us that education.
Amazing. How
How did you get into doing textured hair?
So I was quite lucky where I used to have quite a big clientele with textured hair. So I'm kind of self-taught in many ways, but using crazy color on textured hair can be very different. And there's many things to know in order to get, the correct application.
I think the main thing to think about is porosity. Textured hair tends to use a lot more product. Really, really lay that product on.
Saturation.
Yeah, the saturation is key. Another thing about kind of when color blocking is you always want to take larger sections. I think small little weaves kind of get lost in textured hair.
Yep.
Isn't it rubbish though that it comes down to luck? Like both of us have come down to lucky circumstances. But yeah, hairdressers really do need to educate themselves and put it out there.
For sure.
We're going to show you a model with textured hair, kind of doing a red. So my model today already has red hair. There's not quite as much fade out as I originally thought. So what I'm going to do is pop some nice deep red into the root to give it some depth, and then blend that into a brighter red and some pops of yellow. By using the yellow on the already red base, it's going to give us a really nice vibrant orange. That's really going to shimmer and shine, and I think just give it that dimension that it needs. For our deep red root, I mixed vermilion red with the natural black. The natural black has got a green base, and this is just going to neutralise the red slightly and give the colour more depth. I then blended them into the fire and the canary yellow to give me those really nice bright pops. I always like to swatch out my colours on foil or paper to check the depth of tone, and this I find it gives a really clear indication of the internal pigment. Once I'm happy, I start the application. I start with the root, taking fine sections so I can ensure that saturation, and then for the ends, I blend them into larger triangle sections for those big pops of colour. With textured hair, finer sections just tend to get lost. After the development time, at least 20 minutes, I'll wash off with cooler water. By doing the roots first, that's got the heaviest amount of pigment, so I don't want all of that pigment to wash into the more delicate colours in the ends, and that will just change the tone. Because this tone is so pigmented, I do like to shampoo first, just to lessen the colour run for the client at home. Once the product's out, I like to apply a leave-in moisture cream at the basin whilst the hair is soaking wet. I find this really helps get an even distribution of the product, and I want that coating and all of that moisture to soak into the hair from root to tips. When my client comes to the chair, I'll rake my hands through and apply a styling gel for hold and then diffuse. There's lots and lots of different diffusing techniques out there, but the one that I find best for kind of that real texture hair is kind of a place and hold technique. I want those curls to set into place and go a little bit crunchy. So then once it's all dry, I can apply some oil to my hands, to the hair, really get in there, kind of scrunch that cast out, give it a good shake and enhance that volume and texture. I really like these curls looking big and wild and beautiful.